today's episode, we have Manuj Aggarwal. He is actually the founder and chief innovation officer of TetraNoodle Technologies, an elite AI consulting company with a remarkable track record around the innovation of it and making the impact of lives. He's been able to impact over 10 million lives and generated over $500 million in value through his expertise in technology.
And data is the key ingredient to create AI algorithms. Without data, you cannot have AI algorithms.
Not only that, he also been able to share his insights around these tech and so many things out there in United Nations alongside distinguished figures in the industry, guys like President Obama, Bill Gates, and so many more as well. And it's like so many achievements, and he have four patents around AI as well. Like he is one of the leading experts around AI. Yeah.
Amazon is nothing else but AI algorithms. Facebook is nothing else but AI algorithms. Tesla car company is basically a data company, not a car company.
So we're going to talk about a lot of things around AI itself. So please welcome Manoj Aggarwal. Hey Manoj.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Thanks.
Yeah, truly appreciate it. Well, I wanna know your journey prior to AI. Like, what was your journey look like? What were you doing and all that? If you like brief it down a little bit.
Yeah, sure. So I grew up in India, and back then, India was a developing country, still is in many ways. But I grew up in a very small town, so not a lot of opportunities, not a lot of opportunities for growth in education or job opportunities or anything like that. And so, around the age of 15, I wanted to do something with my life, something more impactful, and I didn't
Mhm.
know where to go, what to do. And I found my passion in computers and programming at that age, and then I knew that is what I was going to do for the rest of my life. And as life progressed, I came over to North America, started working with a lot of startups, with Fortune 500 companies like Microsoft and Pearson Education, IBM. My desire, the way that my company works, is we always focus on two things. One is the what kind of technology project we are doing, whether it is going to impact humanity in some way. So we have done a lot of work in healthcare, in education, in real estate, so impacting people's lives
Yeah.
to help them live better. Second thing we look for is how can we tap into latest and greatest technologies, because as technology evolves, new tools, new frameworks come up, and if we can use the new technology, it helps us create better solutions for our clients, and it also helps us to learn new technologies and get ahead in whatever we are doing. So our focus has always been staying on the cutting edge. And yeah, I mean, it has been really good and enjoyable experience to tap into these technologies. And it has, I'm fortunate enough now, my name is listed among the top thought leaders in AI in the world, and I have four patents in it. So that was my journey so far.
Wow, that's so amazing to know about like the essential growth that you had around side what you were doing with your company and all that. That's amazing. Speaking of it, uh, when you were in AI and you were like doing these amazing projects, you have patents around AI. According to you, when you actually saw the hockey stick of like now you had the idea about like the AI is gonna go and blow up. So like, what was that time around essentially?
Uh, AI has been around since the 70s. A lot of people don't realize it. It's not new. It has been around for a long time. And the people who actually realized the value of AI, they started humongous companies back in 2000. So let's take, for example, all the richest people you can name on the planet. So Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, all these people accumulated their wealth because they have been using AI to their advantage for the last 20-25 years. So
Yeah.
Amazon is nothing else but AI algorithms. Facebook is nothing else but AI algorithms. Tesla car company is basically a data company, not a car company.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, I mean, they collect a lot of data on their cars, and basically optimize their entire infrastructure based on that data. So I also realized the power of data back in 2005. That is when I got involved in the first AI project. Um, and that project was to design a personalized curriculum for students. So many students, when they, let's say there is a classroom of 30 students, every student tends to get the same curriculum today. But as we know, some students are more proficient in that topic. Some students need more help. So it
Mm,
doesn't make sense for every student to go through the same curriculum. So we created AI
exactly.
algorithms to help students get personalized curriculum, even though they are going through the same, they are sitting in the same classroom. So that is when I realized, the power of AI and how it is already transforming the world. And after that, what happened was, around 2011 2012, I went into some sort of a depression mode. I had some personal challenges to deal with. And then I found meditation, and I studied neuroscience, I studied human psychology. And I found out how we create our own reality, how our mind works. And
Mm,
then, drawing on the parallels between artificial intelligence and our human mind, that's when it became even more of a passion that AI can actually help us not only progress in our business, but also open up our mind, realize our full potential as human beings.
mm. Well, that's amazing, and especially a new insight for people who might not know about that AI was there somehow, some way for the past 50 years, and how it
Mhm,
actually evolved
mhm,
throughout the whole time.
mhm,
That's
exactly.
that's that's amazing. So, like, speaking of it, since you mentioned like you actually kind of like got into the world of AI professionally back in, I think you mentioned 2005, right? Which is
Mhm,
still almost like 18 years of
mhm,
it. If you just summarize essentially some crucial points how the evolution of AI actually came along, that would be amazing. Because right now, if we talk about Chat GPT, which is like super trendy topic to talk about,
mhm,
that
mhm.
was the massive new thing that actually came along, which actually blew everyone's mind or so. So, like, if we talk about the evolution of it, maybe when you got into it professionally and you saw the evolution of it, what are the core, I would say, like needle movers of AI when you were
Sure.
there and when you saw the process?
See, so as I said, so AI in various forms, it has been around since 70s. But what happened was around 2005, 2006, a few things happened. One, Amazon introduced cloud computing, because
Mm.
AI algorithms take a lot of compute power, a lot of data to find the patterns in the data.
Yeah,
And before cloud computing was available, you had to invest a lot of upfront capital to set up these computers, and feed the data, fine tune the algorithm. So that is one thing that happened, cloud computing. Second thing that happened, the CPUs, the the processors in the computers, they became more and more powerful, and they became multi-threaded, and also multiple processors on the same chip. So multi-core processors started to come out, so meaning the computing power of a computer started growing exponentially, right?
yeah,
So that was another factor. Now, third factor was that we started producing more and more data, because around 2007 smartphones came into existence. And not only smartphones, but smart devices, like our smart watches, smart rings, even some smart fridges, smart, like,
exactly.
everything. So all of these devices, they are producing tremendous amount of data at every given every second, every 5 second, every 10 second, whatever that is. And data is the key ingredient to create AI algorithms.
True.
Without data, you cannot have AI algorithms. So all of these things combined, it gave a real push to AI research, and AI, researchers who are working on new frameworks, new algorithms, new ways of simulating the human mind, the human thinking. And then I think around 2011 or so, there was a new sort of ways of capturing data and processing data came in, which is called something called the term is called deep learning. So deep
Hmm.
learning is something that mimics neurons that are in our mind. So the human mind contains billions of neurons, and uh, when we process any stimulus from the environment, sight or hearing or anything, uh, millions of neurons fire, and then they process that information and figure out, okay, what does this mean for us? And if it needs to go into our long term memory, the neurons store that memory. The same thing, deep learning tried to mimic that behavior of neurons, and that was another step in the evolution of AI. So, and then
Hmm.
obviously, Chat GPT came along. I mean, a large
Yeah.
language model, which is what Chat GPT is based on. I think again, the research has been around for a while, but I think OpenAI, which is the parent company of ChatGPT, they started building these platforms around 2014, 2015.
Yes. Somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. Initially, these it took them a while to get to a useful state. So I think they released their first product around 2020, 2020 or so, 2021, but it was not as usable as good. Um, so they introduced like GPT, which is 3, I think around 2021 or
Yeah.
2020, late 2020, something like that. And then, I mean, that was also only meant for engineers and more technical people. But with ChatGPT now, it is available for everyone. Everyone can sort of interact with it and use it. So that has been the sort of the evolution of AI.
Wow, love it, love it. Like it was amazing to first of all listen the breakdown of how if we talk about some minute things which most people just don't even understand or comprehend it, like where the AI was even fitted in and how the evolution came along. That's amazing. Then I would say like the next concern a lot of people have right now is I think they start to get a little bit egoistical, like, hey, we're not gonna use AI at any cost, like no matter what happens. uh like what's your thought around that, if people are considering not using AI because they just don't want to rely on any other thing that is completely automated or stuff like that? Like what's your thought around that? I'm pretty sure like you might have listened some people said things
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, yeah. There is a lot of fear, a lot of misinformation around AI. The Here is the thing, right? So every time there is a technological revolution, people react the same way. Some people are
Yeah.
enthusiastic about it, some people are afraid of it. But here is the thing: AI is such a transformative technology. The father of AI, his name is Andrew Nug. He has said that AI is the new electricity. AI is the new fire. Okay, so if you can imagine life without electricity, then you can say, okay, I'm not going to use AI. And that will not be a good thing for you or your future, because everybody else will become more productive. Everybody else who's using AI will be more competitive. It will be very difficult for you to compete with people who have, these technologies on their side. It's like saying, again, I went through so many changes in technology. Back in 1990s, when the internet was just coming out, a lot of people used to say, "Oh, I don't need an email address. I don't need a website."
Yeah.
And now they cannot function in this world without an email address, without a
Yeah, no
website, right?
survival.
Yeah, exactly. So if people do not take advantage of this opportunity, they will miss out big time. In fact, in 5 to 10 years, if they don't use AI, they will be either out of business, or they will be playing big huge catch up.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I feel like everybody, like in the past couple episodes, the people that we even like interviewed as well, they've been in the space for the past 20 years or more. They were always talking about adapting to the changes, and most specifically, they were talking about AI, like why it is important for you to go in and adapt. Essentially,
Mm.
speaking about it, we also mentioned, which was an interesting thing that you were also talking about, is are taking data, and everybody says right now data is the new oil, right? Like
Mm.
it's all about that thing out there. A lot of people out there have these sort of like issues when they are blaming social media or capturing data out there without their consent or so. Recently we actually interviewed like Bill Ottman. He he had his own decentralized social media platform. It was called like minds.com. He was talking about his thoughts on or so. So like, what do you think is the essential things that people should go in and give the access of their data to these social media platform or tech giants, which essentially not only help themselves but also the social media platform as well. So like, happily both ways. So like, what do you think about it? What are the type of data that are good enough for them to share it, and like what they should go and avoid doing it? What's your thought around that? I'm super curious.
See, the thing is that we are all custodians of our own property. So let's say, let's just take a simple example. Forget about the data. Let's say you have a precious piece of gold or jewelry. Who is responsible to take care of that? You or somebody else? You are.
Absolutely, Sophia.
Exactly, right. So you are supposed to make a decision whether something is valuable enough for you to share it with somebody else or not. And when you go on a public platform like Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter or anywhere, you have to be careful about what is it that you're sharing with them. They are not coming and forcing you to share data, but you are going there because it is going to provide you some sort of a value in return. Whether that value is, checking in with your old friend, or showcasing what you bring to the world, or your ad to find a client, or whatever that is, it is your responsibility to secure that data. Now the complication is that education is very confusing. That piece of
Hmm.
information that you need to figure out what you should be sharing is very confusing. Here are a few rules of thumb, right? Any private information, your address, other than your email address, even your email address can be private information. So definitely your physical address, your date of birth, your like your
More sensitive information.
exactly, your bank account information, social security
Yeah.
numbers, anything like that, government identification, all of that should not be never be shared on any public platform. That should be always secured, because something like that can lead to more like a more aggressive identity theft or something along those lines, right? So keep that private. Also, never share something that you may be embarrassed about in the future. So sometimes, these days people bring up a tweet 20 years ago somebody wrote and say,
Yeah.
oh, look, he or she was doing this kind of stuff 20 years ago,
Yeah.
right? So it goes back to the same analogy. Like, if you have something that is precious to you, like a gold jewelry or your family secret, or or something that you don't want to share with the world, then just assume that if you put it on the internet, it will not be your property anymore. You're basically putting it in the street to for everybody to say, hey, here is my property, take it and do whatever you want to do with it, right?
Yeah, yeah, love it, love it. And it's so coincide with the point that I was talking about, like Bill, what he was talking about in the previous interview. He was talking about the exact same thing. Like, first thing is, like, just make sure don't put it on the internet, because if it, even if it gets deleted, it would be somewhere on the
Yeah,
internet and it can be brought up. Like,
yeah.
that's amazing. So right now, if you suggest somebody to make AI their friend, what's your suggestion would be?
See, the first thing is to let go of the fear. Sign up for a free account. Get to I'm just talking about ChatGPT because that is the most accessible
Yeah.
platform for non-technical people, business people. So sign up for a free account. Start to interact with it. Start to ask some questions and say, okay, I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to grow my business. What are, so share some marketing techniques, some sales techniques. What are some of the steps I can take to implement this? All of these things are available, and as you start to interact with AI, with ChatGPT, your mind starts to expand. You start to get better at interacting with ChatGPT. You start to ask better questions. You start to think deeply about what is the problem you're trying to solve. So it's like,
Yeah.
ChatGPT is like hiring a very smart, very intelligent employee who has a degree in medical science, who has a degree in business, who has a degree in law, who has a degree in history, anthropology. All of these modalities, all of these areas of knowledge this person possesses, and the employee is available 24/7, never takes a break. So imagine if you have that kind of employee, what will you be able to do with that, right?
Yeah. Yo, that's amazing. Like even for us right now, like we have a podcasting agency or we distribute a lot of content. Like we are using ChatGPT out there not only to summarize our our interviews, we're using to convert it into Twitter threads, so that like now we have more ability to share it on more platforms. And now we're seeing like how we can simplify ourselves by using AI, because since it's got into the market, as you mentioned, any new invention have sort of like uh, negative reviews or negative thoughts coming along while it's in there right now, but later in the future it just makes sense for people to
Exactly,
accept it.
exactly, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
love it.
Yeah.
Well, if first of all, like, it was amazing talking to you and having these ideas about like AI or so and everything. At first I want to know like what's your next plan is, what's your next goal is with AI, and like what's coming up for you.
Yeah. So, see, for us right now, we are working with as many innovative businesses as possible, people who want to adopt AI. So, we are working with mid-sized companies, large-sized companies, helping them prioritize what use cases they want to automate in their corporations. How one of the big concerns is like, if we automate a lot, do we need to let go of people? Do we need to fire
Yeah.
people? So, we are helping them implement technology in such a way that doesn't cause job displacement. We are trying to help companies upskill their employees rather than displace their employees. So,
Mm.
so our focus is, for the next few months or even years, is to help adoption of AI in a more human centric way, in a more meaningful way, which doesn't cause socioeconomic unrest, but also makes the client more productive, more competitive, and more impactful in the world.
So it means like having those employees learn AI to increase their productivity and
Exactly.
speed things faster, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Awesome. So like if somebody want to be like, hey, I'm that guy, I want to learn all this. So where people can go ahead and and go ahead and sign up for it.
See, for if you just want to do it on your own, there's so much information. Start
Yeah.
by signing up at OpenAI, chat.openai.com. And if you are a company who's looking for more sort of rapid growth, or you're looking to build more substantial projects, you can work with experts like ourselves. You can get in touch with me. And the idea is that this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. So if the sooner you get on this, the better outcome you will have for you and your company.
Yeah, absolutely. What I will do after the interview, or I will post up the link in the description down below, also in the show notes, so you guys can go in and follow Manoj and like send him a message, ask questions, and see like how you can possibly work out in the future as well. Well, Manoj, thank you so much for being on the show today. It was definitely an insightful interview, and it was amazing. Any last thing that you want to say before we round the show up?
I will just say, right now is about 6 to 12 months of window of opportunity where people start to adopt AI and get ahead. The CEO of IBM has said that AI is going to add $10 trillion to the
Oh
world
wow.
economy by 2030. So in 7 years, it's going to add 10 trillion. And currently, the world economy is 80 trillion. So
Hmm.
that means 12% of world economy will be
In the next
added
7 years.
in 7 years by AI. So this is a big opportunity. You don't want to miss out on this.
Yeah, love it, love it. Well, Manoj, again, thank you so much for being on the show. It was amazing.
Thank you so much for having me. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for watching. We're definitely going to see you guys in the next episode. Until then, peace out.